Islam. Firstly, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and the ability to perform our Maghrib Salaah with Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that indeed, as-salatu imaduddin, that salah is the important pillar of Islam. فَمَنْ أَقَامَهَا فَقَدْ أَقَامَ الدِّينِ, the one who establishes his salah, for indeed he has established his deen. He has practiced and protected his deen. فَمَنْ هَدَمَهَا فَقَدْ هَدَمَ الدِّينِ, and the one who abandons his salah, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for indeed he has abandoned his deen. So this is how important Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, many ahadith stress the importance of salah. So we ask Allah to grant us to be of those who will try to perform our salah to the best of our ability, on time in jama'ah, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This evening, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, this morning we did a very important, beautiful statement of Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, where he mentioned that the awliya and the pious predecessors, they used to say that some of the righteous people, they used to say that the one who fears Allah is not the one who weeps and his eyes overflow with tears. Verily, the one who fears Allah are only those who leave what they desire of the unlawful when they are able to indulge in it. And they used to say that the greatest reward are for those who obey Allah in private. And this is something that makes a person reflect. As all of us, we have our weaknesses, and sometimes we tend to forget the way we interact with others, or the way we interact when we are alone. And sometimes we forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it comes to our desires and fulfilling and going after our desires, we sometimes only have pleasing ourselves in front of us, and we forget that this is something sometimes Allah has made haram upon us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sometimes completely forgotten. And that's why this evening's hadith, the hadith that is mentioned many times, where Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam explains on the day of Qiyamah. Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam explains on the day of Qiyamah. This hadith is narrated by Thawban radiallahu anhu, عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لآمن أقواما من أمتي يأتون يوم القيامة بحسنات أمثال جبال تهامة بيضا فيجعلها الله عز وجل هباء منثورا. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam is describing a scenario to the companions of the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, and he's telling the Sahaba that, let me inform you about a group of people who will come on the day of Qiyamah. They will come with their good deeds. They will come with their deeds, and the deeds won't be your normal deeds. The good deeds of these people will be the size of mountains, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tihama is a mountain valley, a mountain area in Saudi. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling them that they will come with these size of mountains and they're carrying, meaning this is how much good they've done in this dunya. And then says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in an instant, Allah will turn these mountains of good, Allah will turn it into dust. Allah will turn it haba'an mansura. Instantly, Allah will turn it into dust. Now imagine in terms of our dunya with things. We know how hard we strive for certain things. We know, for example, we save our entire life one day to retire comfortably. Imagine your house burns down with it safe inside, or you're saving under the mattress, or saving in your bank account. Something happens and you lose all of that wealth. What is the condition? What is the emotion that person goes through? Sometimes you have people who lost everything when their house burned, to the extent that they became insane. So imagine on the day of Qiyamah, and the dunya is such, there's always a second chance. You lose your wealth, you can always rebuild. You can always go work again. But on the day of Qiyamah, imagine all of those good deeds, immediately, in an instant, Allah turns it into dust. What will be our condition and what will be our state on that particular moment? May Allah protect us. If that must happen to any of us, may Allah protect us. Imagine what we will go through, what will go through our mind. The day of Qiyamah is already a day where we will be already, as Allah explained, people will they will look as if they're intoxicated. But they won't be intoxicated, it will be the fear of the day of Qiyamah. So imagine what will be our condition. So then Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when explaining this, the Sahaba were complete, they were worried, they said, Ya Rasulullah, Who are these people? Explain them to us, Ya Rasulullah. Because we do not know of such people. Explain them to us so that we don't become from amongst them. And then Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, أما إنهم إخوانكم ومن جلدتكم ويأخذون من الليل كما يأخذون. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says they were normal people like you. They used to also sometimes make salah at night. They used to also engage in good things and good deeds, etc. They will come with these good deeds on the day of Qiyamah. But they had one weakness, is Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They had one weakness that made Allah upset to the extent that Allah will turn all of the good into dust. And then Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained, and again this goes in line with the saying or the teaching of that we have done this morning of Ibn Rajab that in the from the pious predecessors. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ولكنهم أقوام إذا خلوا بمحارم الله انتهكوها. That they were a type of people whenever they were alone in seclusion, they will indulge in every type of haram there was. And this is the reason Allah will become angry with them to that extent. And again, pointing out the importance of our private connection with Allah, how we are alone. When we are alone, how do we interact and how do we behave in front of Allah? What is the actions when I'm faced? That's why Allah says, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. The one who presses on his desires, suppresses his desires, he will enter into Jannah. So my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, from this hadith we learn a very important principle, and that is that we should always, when we are alone, it shouldn't be that now I can behave in a certain manner or now I could do what I want to do because no one sees me. Why does Allah become upset? Because we know that Allah hears and sees and Allah has knowledge over everything. How can it be that we can hide anything from Allah, yet we have the nerve, we are shy for our fathers and mothers and our friends, our wives, but when we are not shy in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah grant us that iman and that ability then when we are faced with a sin, especially when it is in private, that we should tramp on our nafs. We should say that I'm leaving this for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if it is that we fall into the sin, immediately return to Allah, seek Allah's forgiveness. And so my beloved brothers and sisters, as we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq and understanding, wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillah.